everyone, it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets, and I just wanted to show you the card that I made for my brother for his birthday. This is what the front looks like. I'll show you real quickly the inside, and then I will show you tell you how I put everything together. So I started out with a pre-made 5x7 white card base, and I took a dark blue piece of cardstock, which was 8.5 by 11, and I cut it to 5x7. Then I took this blue and white gingham paper from Recollections, and I cut it to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and I glued both of those down to the front of a card base. And then what I wanted to do was take the white cardstock, just a regular piece of 8.5 by 11, and I cut that to 4.5 by 5 3/4, inked up the edges with Tim Holtz Distress Ink Stormy Sky. Oops, sorry. Just keep it in frame. Okay. I didn't want to glue it down yet, though, because I knew I wanted to include a tag, and I wanted to see how everything looked on the page before I put anything down. So the next thing I did was take that same blue cardstock that I had for the very first layer, and I cut it to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I took this Tim Holtz Alterations embossing folder from Sizzix, and put the same blue paper in it and ran it through the Cuttlebug and came up with this bingo card. That's what it looks like. So I attached the blue bingo card to the white cardstock, and then I took these blank tags by the Paper Studio. This is the large one. They have a small and extra small, and I think they might even have an extra large, but I'm not positive. And these are from Hobby Lobby. And I usually get them at 50% off. So they're $1.99 for 15 of these. So I usually get them for about $1. So, and I inked it up with 3 different color distress inks. I used the Broken China, the Faded Jeans, and the Stormy Sky distress inks. So after I inked up the whole tag, I took my mini mister from Ranger and just sprayed the tag with a couple of spritzes of water, waited for it to dry, and then I took my Ranger black archival ink and used a background stamp that I got from customcrops.com. I don't know exactly what the stamp was called, but it was a big background stamp, and I inked it up with the ink and then actually took the tag to the stamp instead of doing what you usually do, and is take the stamp to the paper. I find it's a little bit easier to do that with background stamps. You get a little bit of better control of where your paper goes, and you can make sure that you're covering the entire surface. If you put it up against the edge, and if you just try to put the stamp down, you may not get it lined up exactly. You usually get better placement when you bring the paper to the stamp. So that's what I did for this. And then the bottom didn't come out inked as well. It's part of the whole distress look, the faded ink. It was a happy accident, so I like the way it came out, and I think I've never done a card with a tag in it, so this is something that was different for me. And then I took this blue ribbon that I had. I either got it at AC Moore or Michael's, and from the not the dollar bin, I think they were 4 for $1. So that's usually when I get my ribbon, is when it's 4 for $1. Tied a little knot into it, and then what I did was place the mats on the front of the card to try to figure out where it looked best and where it wouldn't be hanging over the top too much, so it would still fit in the envelope that I had for it. So once I had the placement down, I put tape on 3 sides of it. I didn't put any tape on the top. Placed it down onto the mats, and then slid the tag into it. So there's the outside. And inside, I took the same colors of mats from the front in the same order, and then I used these dies from Nestabilities. The small one's the white mat, and then the blue mat, and then the gingham mat. And then I took turns running them through my Cuttlebug. A tip for the Cuttlebug is that these dies are really, really thin. So if you don't have a C-plate, put a couple of cardboard shims in there, and it'll really help gain some extra pressure so that it will cut all the way through. You probably have to run it through a couple times to make sure that everything is cut all the way through, especially with the thicker cardstock. So I did that for the first 3 layers, and then for the bottom blue layer, it's 4 inches across by 4 1/4 tall. I took this stamp. This is one of the ones, it's little kid sayings. I think they're from Ink and Inkadoo, but I'm not sure. I got these at AC Moore. And I used this one, Happy Birthday, How Many Fingers Are You? I used the Stormy Sky Distress ink and inked up the stamp and put it on the white cardstock, and then I inked around the edges with the same Stormy Sky Distress ink. Put them all together, and then I took my We Are Memory Keepers corner rounder. There is a 1/4 inch rounded side and a 1/2 inch rounded side. So I used the 1/4 inch, the smaller side, to round those corners. Glued everything down, and then wrote a message to my brother. So, very quick card, but just wanted to show you what I did. And I hope that you liked it, and thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye!